2022 was an incredible year for Star Wars. I know many of you weren't very happy with the Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi, but if you look past the bad decisions, there truly were some incredible and impactful moments. To send off the year, let's look at my top 10 moments in Star Wars 2022 overall. Stick around to see if your favorite moment made the list. First, a few quick honorable mentions. The entirety of Andor's dialogue, Boba Fett riding the Rancor, Boba Fett forging his gaffy stick, Ahsoka's training leading into the Victory and Death episode, and the return of Qui-Gon Jinn. Number 10. Andor learns of Maarva's death. We had already known of her passing, but Cassian had just spent the last several months inside Narkina 5, so we could feel his pain when he finally escapes, only to learn that his mother isn't back on Ferrix waiting for him. In this scene, we can almost feel the cool tropical breeze as it contrasts with the empty solemnity on Cassian's face, and the sunset mirrors his own death in Rogue One.
No! I want the music too.
Number 9. Ahsoka at Padme's funeral. It's always amazing when new connections are drawn between old and new Star Wars content, and a perfect example is the revelation that Ahsoka was present at Padme's funeral procession. To top it off, we were left with the line,
"Why risk it?"
She was my friend.
Number 8. The reveal of Cad Bane. We knew he was coming. If someone needs a bounty hunter, there is no one better to call. The slow walk into town, the intimidating dialogue, the undisputed perfection of his quick draw, and finally, his exit.
Tatooine belongs to the Syndicate. As long as the spice keeps running, everyone will be left alone.
Number 7. Luke training Grogu. Aside from the details about CGI, de-aging, and whether or not this episode even belonged in the Book of Boba Fett, this scene made us feel something. Nostalgia, excitement, whatever it was exactly what we needed, and the parallels to Luke's training with Yoda couldn't be more poignant.
Through the Force, you will find balance as well.
Number 6. Dooku's arc. Dooku has always fascinated me. He seemed so terrible, so powerful and mysterious, but also not like the other Lords of the Sith. We knew some of his story, especially from Dooku Jedi Lost, but nothing on screen. Getting to see his fall to the dark side, and especially his perfectly rational reasons for leaving the Jedi Order, made it all the more important, and the connections to the prequel trilogy were the icing on the Serenoan cake.
I'm afraid.
I know you are.
I'm afraid it is too late.
Number 5. Obi-Wan tells Leia of her parents. This type of idea has been quite common in memes and internet posts. Someone compares the traits passed down from both Anakin and Padme. But I've only ever seen it in reference to Luke. Getting to see Obi-Wan tell these things to Leia herself was an intensely emotional experience.
Princess Leia Organa, you are wise, discerning, kind-hearted. These are qualities that came from your mother, but you're also passionate and fearless, forthright. And these are gifts from your father.
Number 4. The Aldhani heist. The tension in this episode was astronomical. Nemik getting crushed by the credits was poetic and disastrous. It's hard to even put into words all the things that we got during this heist. The Eye was beautiful. The TIE fighters are terrifying again. Just everything about this contributed to making this episode many people's favorite of the entire season.
Victor, 65551, full boost thrust on level.
Number 3. Vader versus Obi-Wan. A lot of people had problems with this fight, but my focus in Star Wars was never the methods used to tell the story, but rather the story itself, and holy cow was this story brilliant. Obi-Wan was able to fully let go of his Padawan, and we were able to see the most terrifying villain in all of cinema history reduced to a broken and emotionally crippled man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anakin. For all of it.
Number 2. Luthen's monologue. As I said earlier, every single line of dialogue in Andor was a top-tier moment for me, but Luthen's epic monologue stands out above the rest. Stellan's performance is S-tier, but the words he speaks brings it over the top. It gives us a glimpse into the true cost of rebellion. It shows the fighter we never see on screen, the one we never think about, and how many Luthens lived, fought, and died that we'll never know about, but whose sacrifice is essential for the formation of the Rebel Alliance.
I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. So what do I sacrifice? Everything!
Before I give my top Star Wars moment of 2022, I just wanted to say thank you. My channel has exploded largely due to Andor, but mostly thanks to you, those of you guys who have watched and subscribed. It's super humbling to think that you enjoy this content that I make, and I absolutely love the community that we've become, so here is a sip for you. Number 1. One Way Out. It's clear from the polls that this is your top moment as well, and how could it not be? The build-up, the emotion, the fight, the sacrifice, the speech, the rally, the chant, and then the heartbreak. This episode puts us in the prisoner's shoes. It made us feel oppressed by the guards. It claustrophobized us alongside the other inmates. And so when they finally rose up and fought their way out, their victory was ours as well. The way that Andor repeatedly made it easier for us to empathize with its characters and situations on screen is one of the many reasons why Andor was the best show of the year, and why the Narkina 5 prison break was the best Star Wars moment of 2022.
There is one way out. Right now. The building is ours.
Happy New Year. May the stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.